Hi guys, and welcome back. Right, so in this video I've decided, before I get into Jimmy's Merc, I want to get the rear roll pan sorted on the Winfield Tribute Merc. Get the rear roll pan sorted and that done, and then I can get the chassis plate made for it. And the intention is to get this up on wheels. So that's what I'm going to do now. So previously on this video, before I cut this video, I've cut the rear end out. I've taped the boot lid in place. Let me just move this camera up a little bit. I've removed this part of the rear end and taped the boot lid in place. Now I'm going to use this piece and this grille. These are from the AMT 56 Ford, the Victorian part. So the idea, what I've done so far, is I've marked the centre of both the roll pan, and if you can just see it, there's a mark on the boot lid as well. That's the centre point. So what I need to do is get that glued into position in the body, but I just want it to be slightly, I want it level with the boot lid, like so. So I'm going to get that now glued in, or just tacked in place. I mean, it might be hanging in air a little bit, but we can build all of that up with plastic. But yeah, I want a single width tail light on it, and then we can rebuild this lower roll pan underneath. So I'll just get that glued in place. Right then, so that is now glued in place. Looks a bit funky at the moment, there's gaps. So I was saying that I was going to use this bit of roll pan here. I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is glue, if I can find the piece, I'm going to glue a flat piece of plastic in here, which is glued to the bottom of this roll pan. And then also what that will do is make a place for another piece of square stock to be glued to the back of that. So I'll just go and cut that, and then I'll cut it so that it is just on the level there with the bottom of that roll pan, bottom of that fender, and just heavily glue that in place. So what that'll allow me to do is build up some shape into this and build it to kind of how I want it. Just to maybe blend this whole area in a little bit more. So I'll go and get that cut, and then we'll come back. Right, so what I've done is I have glued a piece of plastic in there, and then I've levelled it up and I've put another piece of box section in there. So what I've since done is cut a chassis plate for it. We've already been through how I make my chassis plates, so if you want to go back through a couple of videos, that's what I show you how to do that in previous ones. So again, make it so that it can be screwed into place. Just tack that in for now. But what I am going to have to do, just put opposite ones in here. My fat hands don't like this. So what we will do, that's just tacked in place now. I'm going to leave the boot lid off for now, because what I might do is I might make a working boot on this and do something funky in there, maybe. We'll see. What I will have to do though is take this this bonnet off. I'm going to have to cut out all of this, just there, and I want the interior tub just sits there. So I'm going to cut there, cut all of this out, so that we can get, well, to be honest with you, it kind of fits, if you will. I want it nice and low. I'm going to get the wheels in the position where I want them, and then I'll reshape the front wheel wells. But we'll get this cut out first, just get it out of the way really, because I want to make some uprights to drill the holes for the wheels to go through, and the same on the back. So that is the next job that I need to do. So I'll come back to you when I've done that. All right. Right, guys. So since it's been lost off camera, what I'm thinking about now is the front wheel arches. So what I've done, I've got an old Merc body here, and I've made a template of the original wheel well. And then what I've done is I've transferred that onto the model here, and then just marked out where I'm going to cut the wheel wells out. Got that side to do yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grind them out once I've marked them, and then I've got my wheel well shape, and then I'm going to cut these out, and I'll come back to you in a second, and then we'll go from there. Right, guys, so we are up on wheels. So what I did, I cut out the inner arches just by cutting down and then scribing the top out of the fender and snapping them out, cleaned them up a little bit with a grinding tool. And as you can see, I've also put some uprights into the chassis plate. So let's just bring this in. So it does sit, let's get that better. It does sit nice and low now. I think I might need to mess about with positioning of the wheels, how it's sitting the wheel arch. But I've also been messing about with some hubcaps and wheel options. I've got a few to try out. These are 61 Galaxy, and they pretty much match the one from the Jeff Allison artwork. And then dug these out. I think these ones are Corvette. These ones are original issue AMT 34 Ford pickup custom caps. And I'll just sit and stare at it and decide which ones I prefer. So yeah, I think we're going to leave this video here now. The majority of the work that I'm going to have to do on this is body work. Getting the front end headlights sorted, moulding the tail light. That goes into the surround. Whether I decide to do that, coat that in red so it looks like a full width tail light, or just it's mesh so the tail lights will be hidden behind. We'll make that decision. I think I've got another one somewhere so I can try both, see which one I prefer. Alright guys, well thank you very much for watching, and we'll come back to you on the next video. Alright guys, thank you, bye.